So I think one thing that's interesting is the way that Jesus phrases the question to Philip. Whence shall we buy bread that these may eat? He didn't ask, should we feed them? Or anything of the nature. Like it wasn't an inquiry, right? It was very direct that he's saying, we're going to feed them, but where should we get this bread from? And I think they respond very, very truthfully. Like we don't have the means to feed them. And I think Andrew, shows some faith in that he's brings this boy. It's like, he's got 5 loaves and 2 fishes. But knowing it's not enough as well. And so I think that this is a good example for us in our weakness, in our smallness, so to speak, of taking what we have and offering it to God regardless. Bring to God what you can, and He will make miracles of it, even if it's tiny. If by world standards, even the smallest thing, you give God an ounce, and He can make a mountain out of it, right? And I think that, not to plug my podcast, but that's the vision of the podcast, right? The Ordinarily Extraordinary podcast is that we can bring these seemingly insignificant things, these ordinary things, do them for God, and God will make them extraordinary. And that's the vision that God has for us, is to just give Him as much as we can. In our weakness, as sinful, broken creatures, sometimes we only are willing to give very little. But the miracle still happens in us, that God starts to open up those doors. So when I think of this miracle, that's kind of what I think about. It's like, where can I make the smallest change? I mean, don't sell yourself short, right? But be realistic, be humble about where you are, and know what you can offer to God. And don't be unwilling to do that, even if you think it's something so small, so minor. God can do so much with that. Yeah, and as I think about this, it does, in a sense, encourage me and inspire me. Like I mentioned, my podcast, which is still pretty small, very small, if I'm being realistic, but is encouraging in the sense that it speaks into the heart of what I want to do with the podcast, right? To take something so small, offer it to God, and let Him do the work. So it is encouraging for me to do that. And then also encouraging in terms of the timing, this deep into Lent, I think a lot of people can tend to be discouraged of, all the things they set out to do and didn't quite go as planned, right? I planned on doing daily gospel reflections, and I failed to do it daily. And I can still offer that to God. And I think there's a temptation, like I said, during this Lent, for people to be discouraged and to give up on these fasts, these sacrifices, these things that they chose to do for God this Lent. And I just want to say, keep at it. Even if you've messed up, you didn't do it perfectly, offer what you can to God for the rest of Lent. And keep on keeping on. And we'll end on that. So thank you for watching this. If you enjoyed this, make sure to give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. And then hit the notification bell so that you can be notified the next time this goes live. I do weekly gospel reflections on the Sunday gospel every Saturday. And then for Lent, I've been trying to do daily gospel reflections as well. The daily ones are a lot shorter. They're just quick little YouTube shorts, bite-sized, digestible, that I hope is encouraging for you. But it's mostly personal reflection. So yeah, make sure you hit the notification bell so that you can get those as well. And then tonight, today's March 18th, 8 p.m. Eastern on the OEcast podcast, or the OEcast YouTube channel. We will have the podcast and we'll be discussing faith and music with two of my good friends who are also former Focus missionaries, Patrick Dantel and Ali Ward. I'll have the link in the description so that you can follow that. And if you enjoy these, I'm sure that will be as enjoyable for you as well. Thanks for watching. Have a good rest of your day, and God bless.